Hi, welcome back to ShelterTails. This is Connie Galley. Our education and adoption procedures and many other things we talked about each month, we're going to continue to stress, along with, we've had wildlife rehabbers on here, so it's going to be the nation of animals and not just shelters. But with me today, with Dog Star Rescue, are Dan McCabe and Megan Malik, and Gidget, who is a beautiful, beautiful little girl and is very well behaved and has fallen in love with Howard, our director. So thank you for showing up today. I know you work full-time jobs, just like most volunteers, so it's really tough for you to get here. Hey, I just gave you kudos, girlie, for you to get here and be here and do the things you do. I mean, we all work full-time and you know, you're given from your heart. So what I do want to ask you first is, how did the name Dog Star Rescue? I mean, that's an unusual name. What is behind that name?
It's comes from a what was that?
There's actually
a Dog Star.
Like
yes, there is.
Right. Major or something like that, Conus Major. And so whoever started the organization said, well, is it like wishing upon a star? We hope all these little guys get homes. But it's an unusual name, and I like it. So.
Yeah. So we started off. We had a lot of different ideas about names, and so we looked for, could we get the domain? Could we get the Twitter account? We could get the Instagram. So had a group of us that just kind of sat down together and decided. We just kept kicking around names, and it took us a while, and ultimately we found Dog Star. And we liked the idea because it's almost like the Northern Star, where you would bring and then that's how our tagline grew from that, guiding dogs to a brighter light.
Oh, I love that.
So,
I love that. I didn't see that. Yeah. And I like Dog Star it can be used multiple ways. Your dogs are stars. Right. You're a star for rescuing a dog. But I like that guiding dogs. That's a beautiful tagline. So how long has the organization been formed? It's a nonprofit, correct? A 501c3.
Yep.
How long ago did this start?
It originated back in March of 2014.
So fairly new.
Yep. And we've grown. We have over 100 volunteers currently.
That's amazing. And they're out in Canton too.
Yes,
so it's
that's
a more
where we're based out of.
I say rural area. I want to call Canton. I love Canton, but it's a more rural area. 100 volunteers is darn good. Now, are part of them like dog walkers, or part of them foster parents? They're on call when you need fosters, or?
Yep. So we have, it's really where your interests lie within. If you can't foster, we have many other opportunities for you. We obviously always encourage fostering. We encourage having the dogs not have to stay in a kennel, and so that they could be with a foster parent and get socialized with a house and get housebroken more. And if you can't foster, then we have a great dog walking program where you can walk the dogs whenever the kennel is open, and you could take the dogs out and for exercise, playtime, and
feeding, cleaning kennels and things like that?
No, they actually take care of that. So we just it's a dog walking program.
Oh, okay.
So we just take them out for the fun. Okay. We take them out to just get them exercise and get them out in
the air and taking a walk.
Exactly.
Yeah, taking a walk and then being socialized with her.
Exactly.
So you are you dealing with a kennel that's already an existing kennel that has agreed to keep the dogs? Did you start your own kennel? I mean, that's a big operation.
Right. So we have most of our dogs, I'd say 3/4 of our dogs at any given time are in foster homes, and then we use the boarding facilities for overflow.
Okay.
And so we use two facilities. One actually kind of local here is Kessler Kennels, and they help us out a lot. They've been really great to us.
And that's Kessler Kennel, so that's anybody wants to think about
Kessler,
them. Yeah.
And they're in North Granby. And then we use Roaring Brook as well, which is in Avon-Canton border, and they have a veterinary clinic there and a kennel as well.
And what is it called?
Roaring Brook.
Roaring Brook. Okay. Roaring Brook. Okay. Yeah, I'm familiar with them. So, where do these? And I'm going to say, when I deal with the Cat Connection, I'm a volunteer there, and we get cats from the South and cats from New York. And I always say they're the ones with the attitude, the tough street cats. Where do these dogs? Most organizations are afraid to say too much because they'll have things dumped at their door. I remember John Thomas was here and he said he tried to get out of the building 3 times, and every time he did, there was another box of cats. He's trying to close.
Right.
And things. So I don't want you to divulge that, but where do they come from? Where do your dogs? Where do you get your dogs? Do people just turn them in? I can't afford them. I can't take care of them. They don't get along with my other pets, or you find them on the street. They're lost or they're.
So the majority of our dogs do come from the South. You know,
tell you,
so it's so I guess,
with
you know,
that,
we have
yeah.
the connection with Cat
Yeah,
Connection,
yeah.
is that we do have a lot of dogs that do come from the
Yeah.
South just due to lack of spaying and neutering properly.
Right. They don't think of animals the same way. I hate to say there's nothing wrong with the South,
no.
but
And you know, they often have a different idea for dogs.
Right.
You know, they don't take the time to spay and neuter.
Right,
where
right.
you know, we obviously do have a lot more up here. You know, we do take owner surrenders. So if somebody can't, you know, look after their dog for whatever reason, you know, something
Or they're
bad
elderly
happened,
or they die, 'cause we
Exactly.
have a lot of those
so we do take
surrenders.
those as well, but majority of the dogs do come from the South.
yeah, and it's again, the cats that come from the South, they're very much more socialized than the New York cats. I feel like I've said this a million times. It's funny. It's just funny. But again, they're, you know, when I travel, I go into shelters wherever I can. A beautiful one down in Sarasota, Tampa area, and then I went to one in North Carolina. It was like, oh my God. And the volunteers were doing the best they could.
Right.
I mean, they led me through, and I'm not going to name it, they led me through an operating room where they were taking care of a cat. And there I am, I was shocked because I'm walking to kennel behind the operating room, and I'm walking in to an operating room with my street clothes and my street shoes. So, you know, you cringe and you say, yeah, you have an obligation. You have to do something. You have to do something. And you open those transports and they're so happy to see you, you know.
They are.
But they're so happy to see you. But let's talk about Gidget, because you have her here, and I know Gidget, she's being real good now, but you might have to take her for a walk.
I know, you should get some of that energy out.
Gidget. How old is Gidget?
She is 7 months old.
Okay,
Or
when did
young.
she come to you?
About 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I think she's extremely well behaved, I think, and cuter than heck, and she just fell in love with Howard again. So at what point, now she's 7 months old, at what point, if you get a dog even younger than that, would you let it go into foster immediately? And then at what point does it go into the adoption process?
They get fostered immediately. You can. I know. I know. Oh, I know. You're such a little love bug. I know.
Oh, see this love bug, people. Love bug.
I know.
Gidget, dog star.
So yeah, we do, you know, have the foster program, obviously. Once our dogs are in our rescue, we post them up. We have a piece of software that we lease that blasts out to over 200 websites, and including the normal ones that people would look on, like Pet Finder and Adoptive Pet and all those, and then a whole bunch of others. And they're up for adoption. They're ready to go. So all of our dogs are spayed and neutered. All of our dogs are completely vetted.
Well, they're heartworm, the vaccines and all that stuff, or
All of
shots.
that stuff,
Yeah.
everything, they're ready to go. And so we have a screening process with an application that can be found on our website.
You want to talk about your website now? We'll repeat it at the end of the show, but you want to talk about your website now? It's www.
Dogstarrescue.org.
Okay. How many, do you also, in addition to adopting and fostering, do programs about education, abuse, cruelty? You know, we try to educate here too. Do people come to your shelter? Some shelters do it, some don't. Do they come? You don't have a standing shelter, but you have a kennel. Do they come there and get educated? I mean, do you also try to educate on your website? What's the matter, sweetie? What's the matter? What's the matter? She's a baby. She's getting bored, huh? You getting bored?
You want to go over
So-
now? Okay.
Yeah, we do, and we actually have trainers in our organization that are certified dog trainers, and we do put on training for not only our volunteers, but sometimes for the public and for adopters.
Okay.
And so we do that, I would say quarterly, maybe.
Yeah, what to
biannually.
expect when you adopt a dog. You know,
Right.
what dog is going to be more high-strung, what dog is going to be more laid back and doesn't need so much. And
So we provide the support even after, if somebody has a question after adoption, or, you know, the adjustment period when it's coming in the house and maybe, you know, the owner has some questions, we provide support after adoption with those kind of questions as well.
Okay, and it's important because I think a lot of people will, you're trying to cut down, aside from spaying and neutering, cut down the amount of unwanted dogs by allowing people to know this is what it's going to take. Like if you don't want wet, sloppy kisses all over your face, don't take her.
I know.
But she would give me kisses as soon as I came in. So how do you get your volunteers? I mean, that is a continuing problem for most shelters, and you're doing really good if you have 100 people that'll half of them will even foster in their houses, you know?
Well, in my example, I was at an event that they were attending, and I had said I unfortunately can't foster right now, but can I still volunteer? And they said, absolutely, come on. And there's a ton of other things that you can do aside from just foster. So, it's really just word of mouth. We are continuing to grow as an organization. We are 2 years old, so between social media, word of mouth, events that we attend, it's just really getting out there, and you have people that just want to volunteer more, which is great.
I would say that a large percentage of our volunteers are either adopters or somebody that has come in contact with our organization. And so it's referrals, it's family members, it's of friends, and so we've grown. We set up our organization kind of like a business. So we have actually somebody that's in charge of our volunteers. The new intake, kind of orientation, discuss, all the stuff, all the opportunities.
Do you have an office there, or is it all done online? I mean, you have somebody that actually has a desk somewhere to do all this?
No, it is online. We have a person, a designated person who does it.
Okay. So at any one time, how many dogs are, do you ever get, she's a puppy. To me, that's a puppy. She's still a puppy. But do you get litters of puppies coming in as well as the old guys?
We get all sorts of ranges of ages of dogs. We get the senior dogs, we get the middle-aged, we get the young ones. So it really just depends. We have the senior dogs, we have the puppies, we have the middle-aged ones. So
how tough is it, because I know we're always campaigning, or every shelter is campaigning, the seniors. How tough is it for you to get the seniors adopted? Even if they don't have issues, it's just an age issue. Is it tougher to get the seniors adopted for you guys?
It is, to a certain extent, but some people actually are looking for an older dog.
More calm, settled.
More mature.
We had an event at Horses and Hounds this past Saturday, and somebody just fell in love with one of our senior dogs. She was just looking for a more calm, partner for her current
Already
dog.
done.
Exactly.
Done that.
And she just fell in love with him.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So that's one down.
Yep.
And quite honestly, puppies you can move puppies pretty quickly.
It's like kittens. It's kitten season.
A lot of people are interested in puppies.
Right,
so
right.
Our organization was, when we started, we said we're going to be an all breed, all age rescue, and if there's a senior in need, somebody can't take care of their dog any longer, even elderly people, we'll try to rehome them and help them.
It's amazing how, and I say this all the time on the program, that they're just another nation. We are coming to a point where we don't think they're animals anymore in this country, which is good. It's just, they're another nation. And when you have a senior, we just adopted a senior cat, had been in the shelter for 3 or 4 years. And it's horrible to live in a cage for 3 or 4 years.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she could not be out among the population
Absolutely.
much. But when she sat on her new owner's lap and they were taking a photo op, she leaned down and did something I never saw before. She licked her wrist. In thank you. And I was like, that's gratitude. I don't care what anybody says. She
Absolutely.
knew
Yep.
she was out of there, and
she
she
was
was well cared for when she was there, but she's out of there and done. So what breed is, Gidget looks like a slapped together. She's so cute. She's like somebody slapped her together in 2 different pieces.
Yep. She is a Basset Hound Labrador mix.
That's why labs are friendly.
Yes, the little legs that kind of go outward. Those, yes.
She's a low rider.
Yes, she
She's
is.
a low rider. I thought dachshund something, pit bull or something.
I
But she's a
know.
low rider. Yeah.
And she's just too cute.
She just looks like there was a whoops there
Yep,
somewhere in the
yep,
genetic
yep.
line.
I know.
But that makes her even cuter. But it
Just
looked
that
like a
she-
little pit bull face when I looked at her. Doesn't she look like a pit
She's
bull
little
face? Yeah.
unique face on her.
She does. So what else can you tell me about your organization as far as events that you might be sponsoring soon? And then I've got an event you might want to attend at some point in time. I'll tell you about. Because a lot of people come through.
Yeah, our next really big adoption event is going to be on September 24th, and that's going to be at 24th at the Horses and Hounds.
And where is that?
That is in Granby.
Granby,
Yep,
okay.
yep.
Okay,
So it's
Horses
right in
and
Granby, and it'll be a huge event. We were there this past weekend, and we just had over 20 dogs there.
Now, so you're going to be a singular? You're going to be a singular adoption place there,
Yes.
correct? Okay,
Yes.
so that's good.
Yep,
You get all the attention.
Yes,
You get all the
exactly.
attention. So how many dogs do you own?
How many dogs do I own?
People used to ask me about cats, and I was afraid to say. I sound like the crazy cat lady,
I actually don't own any currently,
Okay.
so that's what I dedicate a
Yeah.
lot of. I know, right?
You want one? Here's
It's gonna be. It's hard not to, because I dedicate a lot of my time towards Dog Star. So it kind of fills that void that I have. Currently.
that need for
I'm just
having
a little,
thing.
and so it just really between the dog walking program and the advertising, and the promoting, and
There's
the events.
nothing wrong with not owning a dog.
I don't think that'll last for long.
I know. That's the issue.
It's hard. It's very difficult to resist the urge.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not going to the shelter because they just said kitten season, and I feel like I have to adopt an older one. I really do.
That's an interesting question because, our group is dog lovers, not necessarily all dog owners. Some people, we have somebody in our rescue that owns, I think, 10 dogs and smaller ones.
Whoa!
And,
like a lot.
It ranges anywhere in between. I think most people have, one or two if they can.
Yeah.
But
it's hard for a lot of people, especially if they live in places that don't want animals. Now, we had talked earlier before this that said, how do you know if, she's a lover? She would probably fit in with anybody you would introduce her to,
Yes.
dogs or cats. Maybe she would make a cat nuts because the cat, she want to play. She's a real
puppy.
She's still trying to get over there to Howard. So how do you begin the introduction process if somebody says, I got another dog in my house. I'm not sure it's going to take well. Dogs are pack animals. They usually don't have a problem. But I don't know if they're going to take well to a puppy who's now trying to chew her way out of her bandana.
she wants to take this off. She doesn't want to be adoptable.
I want to be
adopted.
adopted. I want to be a done deal.
So we do have people that are scheduled, people that can go and do the meet and greets within the house. So they will schedule a time with you that best works with you to take that dog that you are interested in and bring them to your house to really kind of see what the kind of connection they could have, to see how they socialize, to see how they associate with one another. And you could just go from there to see, based off of how you think that the meet and greet went, to see what the likelihood is that they will become lifelong partners in crime.
And we actually require it. We have if
Like a home
somebody
visit,
they
as you're
have to
saying.
have a meet and greet with somebody in our organization that's trained to do it because we want to make sure that the dog fits in the household.
Right, and that's smart because you don't want to return. I mean, it's sad for them. Their hearts break when they have to come back and forth. We've had that a couple of times. But so you're doing the meet and greet in households. Is there any? I'm going to ask you this question: do you get animals that are abused? Because most shelters do, and how do you handle that? Or you're just lucky that you haven't come across that yet? Because they tend to be
absolutely come across
more scared of everybody.
Because you don't know these dogs' stories. You don't know
their background.
You don't know where they came from. You don't know what they had to experience down south. So it's kind of a toss-up to see what kind of dogs really come off of our transport. But we have the trainers that really help. We
can get them acclimated to a person again if
exactly.
they've been.
That really helps that we have that in our organization, which does differentiate us between other organizations, that we do have designated trainers that can do that.
So that's wonderful. That's wonderful because that's what a lot of shelters are missing. They just don't have that opportunity to have and then they place the dog and it's like oops. So
we try not to have oopsos. We pretty much from the time we first hear about the dog to the time it's adopted, we are constantly trying to evaluate the behavior, right? So even in the shelter, we have to know what the dog's about. We have volunteers that will help us before we even take the dogs.
So you're saying from before they even get up on the transport or while they're coming up to you, then you know all about, as much as you can about the history and background.
Constantly, our group really tries to keep our bios online up to date. So we have somebody that actually just does that.
Yeah,
and so
it's a
all
big
of
job.
the people in the process, the fosters, the screeners, anybody learns something new about the dog, it likes cats, doesn't like cats, whatever, we
try to add that, because that's important.
Right.
That's important. It reduces the likelihood that the adoption is going to fail.
Right.
Have you ever? Now I'm going to ask you this too because we always call them foster failures, where they're fostering the dog is like you're not taking this dog back from me.
We actually like to call them forever fosters.
Oh, I call them foster failures. That's because I like to put it. You're very positive. I had a couple of foster failures. I'm not bringing them back.
Because we were using that term. You're like, that sounds kind of, I don't really like that term because it's a very good thing that it happened. But so we'd like to put a more positive spin on it and just call them a forever foster.
A forever foster.
Because it does happen. It
Oh,
happens
I'm
very
sure.
easily, as you know.
I mean, if I had her in my house, I would hate to give her up. And she's a spark of joy.
She really is.
She's a spark of joy. So I'm sure her foster parents feel that way about her now.
I know.
So, how many dogs do you? I know it changes month to month, and seasonally, probably at Christmas, you're not doing a lot of dogs. But about how many dogs do you think you're able to place a year? Do you have any kind of idea?
We placed 300 last year.
That's fantastic. Almost
Yes.
like one a week.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
we're probably going to pierce that number this year. So.
I'm sorry, one a day. Yeah, I'm sorry, one a week.
So
One a day.
we'll be closer to one a day this year.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
That's fantastic. And the sad part is, though, the stream never stops. That's what I find.
Right.
It just never stops. So it's a good thing there are people like you to do this.
Yes.
Do you do any other kind of open houses before your September 24th at Horses and Hounds?
Open houses as far as
Open house as far as we'll come to the kennel, to see, put online. We're going to have
they
next
can-
Saturday. We're going to
if
have.
if somebody's interested, if they go on our website and they see a dog that they're interested in, they can schedule a meet and greet to go to the kennel and meet the dog there, as opposed to us bringing the dog to the house to meet an animal. You
Right,
can do
right.
the opposite and just go to the kennel and schedule a time to meet with the dog yourself.
She's being very-
And we
she's being very
schedule, our cadence is really about every 2 weeks we have an adoption event.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
They're usually
Yeah. Wow.
but we have bigger ones and smaller ones. We have ones where there's 2 or 3 dogs. Where we have ones like the Horses and Hounds event in September that there's going to be 20+ dogs.
Wow.
So we do have bi-weekly ones.
Who's she saying over there? She's been rather calm now.
I know.
Dan. She's been rather calm, but she's still staring.
She heard something.
Yeah, something's out there.
Well, that's that Basset Hound in her. You hear that
I
little
know.
that little whirring. So you're a good girl, Gidget. So Gidget's up for adoption. And Gidget's 7 months old, about 8 months old, 7 months old,
Yeah.
7 months old. She's been vetted. She's been
spayed.
She's had all her shots. She's a loving girl.
Yep.
She's
Look at
been
that.
wagging her tail the whole entire
you see
time.
Howard
She-
there?
Yeah, Howard. I'm going to talk Howard. His wife will kill him, but I'm going to talk him into it. He's a dog. Howard. She loves Howard. So you're both full-time work. Most of your volunteers are full-time
Oh, yeah.
workers, huh?
Yep.
So it's tough to give that kind of time to a job in
Yeah.
this. But so the people that come to help you are the people that absolutely love animals and
Yeah.
are doing this out of their goodness of their heart. Gidget, she looks like you're putting her to sleep, Dan. You're mesmerizing her. So you want to talk a little bit about, how to get a hold of you both. We'll mention your function again, and when it runs in July, then it'll be, you're in force. So you said September 24th.
Yep. And then our biggest event of the year is actually I believe it would be the following week, October 1st, is our Bark and Brew. And that is at the Hooker Brewery in Bloomfield.
Okay.
And we have tickets that we will be selling for it. And it's unlimited beer, food. There's going to be a puppy kissing booth.
That's so cute.
Who can turn that down? It was a huge hit last year. We had how many? Over 300.
Yeah.
Over 300 people attended.
That's fantastic.
And there's going to be, we want to have a band this year, and it's going to be the biggest event of the year.
Well, and you sent some YouTube video. I think you sent
Yes,
some
with the
YouTube, which
duck,
Howard
yep.
will use. And if you want to add that and just send him a
Yeah.
shot of that, we can maybe run that at the bottom.
Okay, perfect.
But you also, that's on your website.
Yep.
If you would
Yep.
send it to me also,
absolutely.
I'll put it up because we do a lot of marketing for animals
Yeah.
under ShelterTails. And so, but that's fantastic. So how can people find you? If you give your website, your phone, if you want phone calls, and not your kennel so you don't get drop-offs.
Well, you can drop off at Megan's house anytime.
Right? I don't have any
She
dogs.
doesn't have
so I know.
dogs. She doesn't have
I
dogs. Megan needs dogs.
I do. I know.
So one of the two of you address that, and that'll be like your website and how they can get a hold of you.
Yep. So you could just go right to our website, dogstarrescue.org. We also we are very big with Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, all the social media.
Okay.
So you can always go to, obviously our biggest one is Facebook. So we are always on there. There's always somebody, there's always some volunteer running the Facebook. So
Okay.
that's probably the quickest way.
Okay.
To just shoot us a quick message on that. You can always visit our website for the up-to-date list of the dogs. Our Facebook page will have a lot of event updates. It has adoption stories. It has follow-ups, dogs that are in need, so that's really where you have the most up-to-date feed.
You can go find out, do you need paper towels? Do you need leashes? Do you need this? Do you need that?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
So we've had volunteers just do that. Say, I can't really help much, but my daughter's in Girl Scouts. She needs to do something
project.
for a project, right? And so they do a blanket drive
Right,
or
right,
food
right.
drive
Food
or something
drive.
like that.
Okay.
Anything from that all the way, through helping with finances, or we have the whole gamut. So I would say that contact us is on our website is kind of like every website would have that.
Your email address so
Right.
that people could get in touch
And
with
on
you.
our website, if anybody decides that they want to volunteer, there's a volunteer
Okay, link.
application process right on there. Just click on it.
Okay.
Adopt, just click on it. I mean, it's very easy.
Okay.
User-friendly.
Yep.
User friendly. And Gidget's over there. She's just Gidget. Oh, hi, sweetie. Oh, hi, sweetie. How are you? Well, you did a good job being calm and patient during this time.
Didn't you?
Well, I do want you to please do send that Bark and Brew,
Yes, I
because
will.
I
Yep.
will get that out for you.
Absolutely.
Another function I'll tell you about, and I mentioned it last month, I think, Northampton. I know that seems far away from you, but it's really not, because 30,000 people come through there. It's the NoHo Pride Parade, and I did that this year for our shelter. And you have people come through, 30,000 people come through from Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, etc. And it's the Gay Pride Festival. But if I heard one more story about how I lost my dog and I'm looking for one, like I'm sitting there,
wow,
you know,
okay.
like you're
Yeah.
there
Right.
trying to say, everybody wants to talk to you about, because it's their companion, it's their family. I heard 20 million sad, so I'm giving out, here, go there, 20 million sad stories about losing their puppies. But it was, people did stop at the booth, and if that's something you want to think about, it's just taking a booth up there next year, because it's a lot of foot traffic, it really is. But you sound like you're doing well with your marketing yourselves.
Yeah, we do pretty. We build shelter beds. We have a couple times a year. We actually, with PVC pipe and material that we buy, and we build these beds, and then donate
And then auction them. Oh, you donate
them
them.
to shelters.
Oh, wow,
To
okay.
keep the dogs off the concrete.
Yeah.
We do a lot of things that are engaging with the public. We have a part of our organization called Doggone Recovery. Doggone Recovery.
Oh, and
so
what's
if
that for?
somebody's dog, they adopt a dog. It doesn't have to, not our dogs. Hopefully they get away. But any dog that gets away and runs, and they're newly adopted, or whatever, and they don't know their name, and they just start running around, you can't catch them. This organization helps. So we partner with the animal control officers and
Good to
help
know.
catch and trap the dog. Sometimes it takes quite a while.
Yeah, because it gets. Well, it's funny, because every time I say, everybody's sending me these Facebook things about dogs seen roaming or look, and I'm like, cats find their way home. Dogs don't tend to. Cats always find their way home, but dogs don't tend to. Yeah, you're not going to run away. Are you going to get a? Oh, God, no, a big sloppy one. Another one. Thank you. And thank you both for coming.
Thank you for having us.
It's been interesting.
Yes.
I'm looking forward. I will attend your Bark and Brew. I
Yes,
think that sounds like a lot of fun.
It is. It's going to be a great event.
Sounds like a great event. So when you get back, give me some more information.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, this is Gidget. She's 7 months old. Everybody, you could see how lovely she is. So you call Dan or Megan, go to Dog Star Rescue in Canton, and somebody's got to adopt her, and I'm sure she'll be taken real
she
soon.
will.
Real soon. Maybe before this airs, actually, we hope, okay? So, but thank you again for coming. I know
Thank you so
both
much.
of you are
Thank you so
working
much.
full-time. It's time
Yes.
out of your busy day, and you're working full-time just being
You
cute.
are. It's
You're
a
working
full-time
full-time
job.
just being good.
She's good at it, though.
She is. So, thank you. This is ShelterTails again with Dan McCabe and Megan Malik. Malik?
Yes,
Saying your last
Malik,
name correctly?
yes, you
Megan
did.
Malik of Dog Star Rescue in Canton. If you have any questions, you can certainly go to their website. And if you want Gidget, and who wouldn't, you can also do it fast, because she's too cute. Thank you for watching.